ready to make our final electrical connection to the AM14, and I want to make you aware that whether you're hooking up a Digiset or whether you're hooking up a MicroPro, the connection here would be exactly the same. So before I get into this box and start doing anything, I want to confirm for sure, because I've already tested that this is a 208 volt machine, but I also want to make sure that there's no power here. So this is my incoming power, and I test all 3 lines and I see there's no power. And just to be safe, I'm just going to test them to ground too. So now I know I'm dealing with a dead machine, so I don't have to worry about hurting myself or creating any kind of problem. Before I ran these wires in here, I made just a little legend for myself so I knew which wires were for what. So I know which wires are my hot connections and which ones are supposed to go to my detergent connection and which ones are supposed to go to my rinse. So the first thing I'm going to do is I need a black and a white wire to a constant source of power. So in order to power my dispenser, I'm going to use this black and white wire, and I can use any 2 of these wires. Okay, because on 3-phase, these are all going to be the same voltage. So I can loosen. I gotta get another screwdriver. So I can bring my black or my white, it doesn't matter which, into my first connection here. This is going to give me constant power to my wash dispenser when I turn on the dish machine. And then I'm going to hook my white wire up for my return voltage to another of the incoming power to this dish machine. I'm trying to be careful that I don't shove the wires in too far, tighten up on the insulation. It's very, very important that you have good, clean connections with good solid power coming into the dispenser so that you get longevity. Okay, now I know that my DPS1 and DPS2 are the orange and brown wire. So these are going to be my next 2 connections. Oops. Bit more to make sure they're good and tight. It's so important to make sure that electrical connections are tight. And I'll just go down here and make sure I got all these too. And then lastly, but certainly not least, is to make sure that I ground this. Ground is very, very important. And I'll just make sure that this is kind of out of the way. Good. Let me shut this box. Okay.